Our next guest has been an Olympic champion, an investment broker. He is sought after as a speaker and as an author of more than 50 books. I only have a sample here on the table, but his most recent book is called Will to Win. It's a book that is on its way to becoming a movie. He's done all this without his sight. His name is Jim Stovall, and Jim joins me this morning. It's great to have you here. Thanks for coming in.
Always good to be with you.
I love to hear you speak. You've been around the Tulsa community for a long time, but on the international scale as well. Tell our viewers a little bit about how you lost your vision and how really that changed the course of your life.
Well, I was born and raised here in beautiful Tulsa, Oklahoma, and as a young man, you know, my only real ambition was to be a college football player and then go into the NFL. I wanted to make my living playing football, and every year before you go play big time football, they make you go get a physical. They want to make sure you're totally healthy before they take you out and try to kill you.
Right.
And one year I noticed the physical was taking a lot longer than usual, and they poke you, prod you, weigh you, they measure you, they do all this stuff. And finally a doctor came in and he did a couple more tests and then shined a light in my eye. And eventually 3 doctors took me down the hall and sat me down. They said, "Jim, we're not sure why and we're not sure when, but we do know someday you're going to be totally blind and there's nothing we can do about it." And your whole world stops. I realized I'm not going to go into the NFL and play football. I did some research at that time, and to this very day, there's never been a blind guy in the NFL. If you watch the preseason games, you might question that, but no, they have other problems. But so I came back to Tulsa, Oklahoma, my hometown, went to ORU like a lot of great people, like Leanne Taylor did, and graduated from there and discovered Olympic weightlifting and became the national champion, and I got to finish my athletic career as a weightlifter. And then during my 20s, I did indeed lose my sight, and out of that frustration, I invented a process and a company called Narrative Television, and we make movies and television accessible for 13 million blind and visually impaired people across the country and a whole lot more around the world. And that got me started in the speaking business because we won an Emmy Award for our first season on national television. And the next thing I know, I'm out doing arena events, and they pressured me to write a book. And wow, I thought, I can't read a book. Why should I write a book? But I did, and it took off. And then after 5 or 6 books, I'd written everything I knew and a few things I only suspected. So when they wanted another book, I said, well, I'll make up a novel. I made up a story and called The Ultimate Gift, and it became a phenomenon and launched a movie trilogy. And ever since then, you know, my books seem to make their way into being movies, and I do realize the absurdity of being a guy that writes books he can't read that are turned into movies he can't watch, but that's my life.
So, Will to Win, I said it's your latest book. I don't think that's actually accurate. I think you've done some since then, but this is the one that we're focusing on because there's the prospects that you guys are going to turn this into a movie.
Yes, it's the 9th of my books that have been turned into movies, and Russ Kirkpatrick and Andy Kinslow, the local producers, contacted me, and I had already worked with Jennifer Rogers, who's Will's great-granddaughter, Will Rogers, and she kind of represents the family. And you know, I wrote this book, and it's a novel. It's in my Homecoming historical series. They are books that take place in modern-day high schools, but the namesake of the school gets involved. And I did one at Harry Truman High School, one at Napoleon Hill High School, and then this one will take place at Will Rogers High School.
Yeah.
And it's a great place to shoot a movie, and it's about a young lady who's a Native American, and she's being raised by her traditional Cherokee grandmother. Her parents have been killed, and she's playing softball on the team, and due to budget cuts, they canceled the softball team, and all the girls quit, and she decides, I'm going to go play baseball with the guys.
Yeah.
And it's based on a young lady named Sarah Hudak down in Texas that really did this, and so it's her story. Her name's Sky Forest, and through some struggles in the story and in the book and the movie, Will Rogers himself shows up at key points and kind of helps her through this.
Yeah, it's a great read. I had a chance to look at it a while back when you sent it my way, and then to know it's going to be a movie is so fun. I just think you are incredible in so many different ways, and I'm not sure how many people here in Tulsa get to hear you, and obviously the movies and the books. I just wanted to kind of shine the light on this. Folks are going to actually have a chance coming up December 3rd to learn more about the movie, to learn more about Will Rogers. They're going to have the authors there, the producers, and you can be there 10 a.m. on Saturday, December 3rd, there in Claremore. Will to Win, the movie discussion. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You get to meet and find out how a movie's made, and tour the museum and see all of Will's stuff. And I think Santa Claus is going to be there, so everything's great.
Right, and you'll be there too.
Yeah, I will be there.
That's the best thing ever. Hey, I really am. I'm looking forward to the narrative TV is incredible, because if you think about watching TV and a person who's blind, having the description on the voiced is amazing. And this, I really want to come in and I want to spend more time with you. So I'm looking forward to featuring you maybe after the first of the year.
Well, it'll be great.
It's not me trying to get in the movies or anything either. Okay, got to take a break. Oklahoma being highlighted in a couple of board games. I'm going to show you about Zillionaires and Road Trip USA.
If you're looking for a fun way to escape the cold this weekend, hundreds of small businesses fill this room at Expo Square. We're taking you to an affair of the heart.